Good evening and welcome to this edition of KTN Friday Briefing. Thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, it's a great pleasure having you on the show as we wind up a crazy and very busy week for most of us. Well, tonight we have a great show lined up. A celebrated gospel artist, Rosie Ohon, is in the building and she has her beautiful family with her. We'll be getting to meet her and her beautiful family in a short while. She is our guest anchor, and if you do not know who she is, you need to stay with us to know who exactly she is. We also have Willis, the word master, with us. He's in Kisumu, standing by for tonight's Mind Your Language lesson. You do not want to touch that remote. Stay tuned to KTN Friday Briefing. Good evening and welcome to the show. Our sign language interpreter is William Silo. We begin with unfortunate news, and a 7-year-old girl was found murdered and her body dumped in a coffee plantation in Meru County. The girl was reportedly kidnapped on Monday by unknown people while she was playing in their compound. Najma Ismail has these details.
It is in this coffee thicket that the body of Brenda Kawira, a Standard 2 girl, was recovered. The 7-year-old girl was kidnapped on Monday by unknown people while she was playing near her grandmother's home in Magundu village. A group of women who had volunteered to look for the girl found her lifeless body lying in the coffee plantation near her home after several days of unsuccessful searching.
Amen.
Area residents were left in shock following the horrendous ordeal, with some saying the girl was raped before she was killed and dumped in the plantation.
Tulisikia wengine wakisema ni kama hata mtoto alikuwa amebakwa. Kubaka mtoto miaka 7 ni kitendo kibaya kabisa za mnyama. Hata usidhani kama huyu mtu hata kwa Mungu anaweza kusamehewa.
Police have since moved the body to the Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary. Najma Ismail, KTN Friday Briefing.
Quite a sad incident there. The Court of Appeal has this morning declined to reinstate 8 clauses of the controversial Security Laws Amendment Act that had been suspended by the High Court. The 3-judge bench ruled that the Attorney General Githu Muigai had not proved that the suspension of the clauses had created a vacuum in fighting terrorism. KTN's Linda Ogutu reports.
The court was not told that the grant of the conservatory orders.
In their ruling, appellate judges Daniel Musinga, Patrick Kiage and Agnes Murgor ruled that the Attorney General Githu Muigai had not proved that the suspension of the clauses had created a vacuum in fighting terrorism. Githu had argued that the ruling would affect the dispensation of justice and that the judge failed to consider the terrorist threats the country was facing and which the new law was meant to contain. The clauses that were suspended by Justice Odunga include Clause 12, 16, 26, 29, 48, 56, 58, and 64. Justice Odunga noted that sections of the new act raises questions of human rights violations.
What is more important about this ruling today is that the judges have made a fundamental statement, and that is that in whatever we do, there is no instrument above the Constitution.
He noted that Clause 12 introduces a clause that limits the freedom of expression and of the media and imposes a hefty fine. If implemented, there is imminent danger of offenders losing their liberty. Clause 64 introduces an offense of publication of a statement that is likely to be understood directly or indirectly as encouraging or introducing another person to commit or prepare to commit an act of terrorism. Odunga said provisions contained under the Penal Code are oppressive and are inconsistent with the Constitution. Clause 48 introduces a ceiling on the number of refugees and asylum seekers in the country. The judge found the new regulation discriminative in nature and inconsistent with the international instruments and treaties to which Kenya is a signatory. Section 26, which dealt with the Evidence Act as amended, would violate the constitutional rights of accused persons to a fair trial. The new law wanted evidence withheld from accused persons. Section 12 and 16, according to the petition, was meant to limit the rights to fair trial and was seen as unreasonable to the extent that it denied an accused person adequate time and facilities to prepare a defense. The judge observed that the right to fair trial cannot be limited. The National Intelligence Service will also not interfere with the privacy of individuals as proposed under Clause 56. The ruling means that the affected sections remain suspended and no agency or authority can use them until the matter is fully determined. Chief Justice William Mutunga has already appointed a 5-judge bench led by Justice Isaac Lenaola to determine the constitutionality of the security law. Other judges in the bench are Justices Mombe Ngoge, Hilary Chemitei, Hedwig Ogundi, and Joseph Oguto. While making the appointment of the bench, the CJ was categorical that the dispute must be heard in January and a determination made on or before February 13th. Linda Ogutum, KTN Prime.
To another impending major court battle now, the three major media houses that own KTN, NTV and Citizen are taking the battle to protect their intellectual property rights to the International Tribunal. Media owners have written to their Attorney General asking that he gazettes an amendment to stop the violation of their copyright and intellectual property rights or face them in court. In the letter sent to Attorney General Githu Muigai, the Information Cabinet Secretary and all parties involved, the media owners add that Communications Authority of Kenya, which is meant to be an independent body, is acting partially. KTN's Catherine Omwanto reports.
Media houses to go to the International Intellectual Property Rights Tribunal in Paris comes after a protracted court battle pitting the media houses against the Communications Authority of Kenya. The latest move by the authority to withdraw the digital license awarded to the three media houses has created the impression that the government is partisan and working in favor of Pan-African Group and GoTV. The media houses now say that they are not confident of getting justice from the local judicial system and are opting for an international option.
We really would not want to be in areas of confrontation with the regulator and with any other agency. But we want that justice be done, and we are hoping that in time the action that the Communication Authority has undertaken will be reversed by the authority itself. We are asking the authority to do the right thing. It is completely unconscionable to cancel or revoke license of local media and to the advantage of foreign entities.
We would have wished for more honesty from the Communications Authority of Kenya. The CAK has done a major disservice to this country by emerging not as an independent arbitrator, but as a partisan defender of special interests.
The move is to ensure that the intellectual property rights of local broadcasters are protected.
We are prepared for the long haul. Nobody is going to work or wish away the work of the journalists who take time and risk their lives to go to Capedo to get content and air the same content without compensating journalists.
Media owners insist that the government has continually disregarded the fact that KTN, NTV and Citizen own 80% of the market share in broadcast. These are the stations that Kenyans rely on to get informed, entertained and educated. Out of the 211 frequencies, the government has awarded 120 to Chinese-owned Pan-African Group, which owns StarTimes. That accounts for 60% of the frequencies being awarded to a foreign company. And yet KTN, NTV and Citizen were awarded 21 frequencies.
It is a very bad picture to any investor who may want to come that an investor and investors who have been in the country for so many years and who are actually part of the population of this country and who are citizens of this country can have their licenses removed, withdrawn without any notice, without any due process, without any explanation.
The media houses have reiterated that they are not against digital migration, but media practitioners do not agree with the manner in which the Communications Authority of Kenya is going about the process. Catherine Omwanto, KTN.
The Orange Democratic Movement has today rubbished the list released by Lands Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu of directors of a company allegedly claiming ownership of the Langata Primary Playground. Speaking in Nairobi this evening, the ODM leaders urged President Uhuru Kenyatta to get to the bottom of grabbing public land in and around Wilson Airport. Kiambu Governor William Kabogo, however, dismissed criticism by court members against Uhuru Kenyatta on the Langata land saga.
We want to urge Honorable Charity Ngilu. We can see her very strained. She even threatened to resign because as a mother, she feels the pain. That is attendant when you see people doing wrong things as a consequence of grabbing land. You cannot have insatiable appetite for land that you are allergic to any open space. These land grabbers, very soon they'll be grabbing the land in Orange House.
We are challenging the president that yes, it's good you have expressed outrage on this matter, but can you now go a step further and act decisively? Can you scatter those bandits, those pirates who populate your government and who have such insatiable appetite for any open space?
Ni ili tusifanye kazi ikifika 2017 walete jamaa yao wasema walishindwa, hata mimi nitaona.
Now, do you believe in miracles? Well, most of you will say yes in reference to great deeds attributed to God. But residents of Kararia village in Marakwet East have been left in utter shock after a 9-year-old boy allegedly single-handedly lifted a big tree that had been lying on the ground for 3 years and restored it to the place where it was before it was cut down. Masi Kandie has this very interesting story.
It's a village in awe, an epic spectacle that awed the locals of the sleepy village perched on the fringes of Embobot Forest in Marakwet East sub-county. A story that even when you see the evidence of it, you wouldn't still comprehend. A 9-year-old boy allegedly single-handedly lifted a tree that had fallen 3 years earlier, bringing it to life.
Nikajaribu kuja tingisa haitingisiki. Nikarudi nikajaribu nikaenda uliza sasa uliamshaje? Akaniambia tu niliamsha na nikashikilia chini. Mara ya pili nikaamsha ndio ikasimama. Hivyo tu ndio kijana aliniambia hivyo.
According to the boy's father, Richard Komen, his son, a class 4 pupil at a local primary school on the material day, went into the forest together with his peers when the young boy told his friends to move so that he can make the tree stand to its original place.
Yenyewe ilikuwa mshangao, lakini kwa huwa saa zingine nasema kweli nimeujiza, lakini kwangu mimi naona ni jambo la kawaida tu, miti inasamuka hivyo tu.
Hundreds of residents from far and wide are now trooping to the village to witness the occurrence, which has been linked to the supernatural, and hopefully see the tree. But what others see as a spectacle, elders say there was a need for a cultural cleansing, claiming that the boy was in communication with the ancestors because what he did was peculiar.
Tukafanya tu hii maneno ya kiwase, tukachinja kondoo, tukatafuta hii kitu ya maratena kidogo, tukatengeneza, ndio tukatubia hii watoto wetu magugasa yangu hii.
The women of Kararia village say they also used the same tree for firewood. The tree in question, which now stands out in the forest, had been split for firewood right from top down to the middle after it fell 3 years ago, but was still partially held by the roots.
Ilikuwa mwaka wa 2012. Hii miti ikaanguka. 2011. Ilikuwa inanyesha sana.
The family says they have been praying for the boy, adding that he has since birth behaved differently, at times giving decisions made only by the elderly.
Lakini alipokaa kitu kama wiki moja hivi ndiye akaona huwa anakaanga na mamake. So huwa akaambia mamake siku moja, naona kama kuna huwa mkono wake sasa. Huwa akiongea anaongea mpaka anakaa namna hii. Anashika mkono wake hivi. Sasa akasema, mama, huwa naonanga mkono yake kama inakuwa kubwa sana.
Residents say they want the area fenced off.
Serikali yetu ya county wapate kutufungia hapa, ili watu wengine ambao watakuja kuangalia kwamba iwe an historical site.
Masi Kandie, KTN, Kararia Village, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Now, what lessons did we learn from Kuvasali when skirmishes broke out along the Nandi-Kabras border in December? What happened to the villages ever since? We revisited the area to find out how most of them are slowly rebuilding their lives. Here's KTN's Dorcas Wangera.
Susie Lumbasi's house was torched in December. She will never forget.
Hata kulala na shindwa. Nakaanga tu nje. Kwa maana upati nakuja tu. Nakujanga mchana naongea kwa mlima nasema tu nataka nini.
The ashes of December remain silent witnesses, silent observers of a village's effort to rebuild itself. Freshly corrugated iron roofs on homes built with the support of the county government. But one thing remains lost, the trust they once had in their neighbors on the other side.
Kutoka hiyo wakati tunaishi kwa hofu, vitu nyingi tumehamisha kwa manyumba. Hadi wa sasa hatuna amani, na serikali inabidi chukua hatua ihakikishe mpaka ya Western na Rift Valley iko wapi.
Thursday, the NCIC and the Nandi County government had a meeting with the Nandi community's elders, and Friday with the elders from the Kabras community and the Kakamega County government. Mission: to foster dialogue, build a lasting peace solution, and end the rising tide of suspicion.
Peace building by all actors. You heard me say, ya kwamba nataka tuungane na Wakenya wote tujaribu kuleta amani hii. Ni wajibu wako, wajibu wangu. Wale viongozi wa hapa tumefacilitate hawa kuendelesha mambo ya amani. Part of it is counseling those people. It's our responsibility, it's yours.
We have money ready to build a police post that would plan to have a full police station.
Villagers say their leaders have tried to help them rebuild their lives. Some are still skeptical. Some still want more. A big gap lies between the reality and the promise.
Sisi hapana nataka kulipisha kisasi. Sisi nataka tu usalama uweko tukae mzuri vile sisi tulikuwa nakaa zamani.
Part of it is counseling those people. It's our responsibility, it's yours.
A section of Muslim clerics in Mombasa today moved to rename the controversial Masjid Musa Mosque that had attracted all manner of controversies last year. But will the remaining be enough to help reclaim the lost reputation? KTN's Francis Ontomwa with that story.
Putting shoulders to the wheel Friday morning at the Masjid Musa Mosque. It's just a few hours from the traditional Friday prayers, and men are racing against time, putting final touches to the facility. In perhaps efforts to give facelift to the mosque, Muslim leaders were here today to oversee the exercise of renaming the mosque, to wash it clean from the controversies that have been oscillating around it.
Na hii leo tumekuja hapa kurudisha ile hali ya zamani iliyokuwa nayo ya msikiti Musa. Tumeondoa ile majina yaliyobandikwa, sasa tunarudisha msikiti Musa.
And the effects of the cruel reputation remains clear here in Majengo. Most apartments are deserted. Most business people have since relocated elsewhere. However, just like the proverbial phoenix, things are slowly coming back to life.
Hapa kwa kweli mtaa wetu ulikuwa umeharibika sana, kwa sababu hata mtu ukiwa ni saa 2 ya usiku ukimwambia mtu atukutuku nipeleke Majengo, kwa kweli anaogopa, anasema mtaa huu hawezi kwa sababu una vibaka. Umeona, kuna vijana walikuwa wanatembea na visu usiku wakivamia watu, lakini tunashukuru mpaka sasa alhamdulillah mambo yamebadilika, kumetulia.
Last year, at the time when debate had heightened on radicalization of Muslim youth, Masjid Musa garnered a hurtful tag of being a breeding ground for terror group Al-Shabaab. In November last year, the mosque, together with 3 others, were closed for 10 days as part of a security operation launched by government.
Ni sikitiko kubwa leo hii, kila mmoja akimbia msikiti huu. Kila mmoja akisikia akitoja msikiti Musa anaogopa. Kwa nini? Huu ni msikiti wetu na kitabu, msiogope jungu zangu, ni regeeni kwa Mwenyezi Mungu, regeeni kwa msikiti wenu, tujumkini pamoja kama tulivyokuwa zamani na hatukosa kitu mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Top Muslim clerics, including the late Sheikh Abu Drogo, Ibrahim Amisi, and Abubakar Sharif Makaburi, had all strong connections with the mosque. Whether the renaming of the facility will have a positive impact and bring back the lost glory remains something to be seen.
It has been well over 2 months since Masjid Musa was reopened, and today's exercise, top officials say, is a pointer of a fresh beginning. Francis Ontomwa, KTN, Mombasa.
Now, retired President Daniel Arap Moi has challenged leaders to enhance national unity and come up with policies to address challenges such as insecurity and cattle rustling. The former president decried the constant cases of livestock theft in the Rift Valley region and challenged area leaders to come together and sort out the issue before more lives are lost. Speaking in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County, during the opening of Transnational Bank branch, Moi said it was the duty of local leaders to preach peace and enhance harmony among the people. He also expressed disappointment in the way parliamentarians handled the CDF cash.
Serikali miaka 6-7 iliyopita ilianza kutoa shilingi milioni nyingi kwa kila constituency. Milioni nyingi. Siku ile tulikuwa tunafanya harambee 20 shillings, 30 shillings, lakini tulichenga. Na mimi sioni shule zimejengwa na shilingi hizi milioni nyingi. Wapi?
Kiambu Governor William Kabogo today launched 6 advanced life support ambulances in an effort to improve the health sector in the county. The ambulances come equipped with mobile intensive care units and will be stationed in level 4 hospitals across the county and in the most remote areas of the county. Speaking during the flag-off event, Kabogo said the ambulance operators will undergo basic life support training with the Kenya Red Cross Society.
Sasa wamempeleka izwe ndani ya ambulance. Sasa ameingizwa, wamemuingiza vizuri. Ndiye huyo amepewa hewa kutosha. Sasa ndiye huyo ameingizwa ndani bila.
Then come on.
Okay.
Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you.
All right. There we go. So this is what I do as my day job. I
So
can't
I sit?
sing. Yeah,
Okay.
sit there. I can't sing, so let me just stick to my day job. But I'll be asking you to teach me a song or two.
Okay.
All right. So
So
you
here.
have So you have the backup here. Where is that? But so you'll be reading it from there. But here's a backup just in case.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So begin by introducing your name, introducing yourself, and then go on.
Okay.
All right.
This one.
Yeah. Actually, it's there on the auto key. It's easier there.
Okay. Wow. Hi. Yeah. How do you do it?
Yeah. Hi.
Like that?
Good evening.
Okay.
Hello.
Where is the camera?
This is the camera.
This one?
Yes. The
Okay.
one that has the. You can see the words.
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I can see it. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. My name is Rosie Horn, and I'll be reading the story today. Imagine having your father, who happens to be the only breadwinner in your family, pass away early, leaving you to fend for 11 other siblings. This is the challenge that a 19-year-old girl from Lagdera constituency in Garissa County has to face. In an area where girl child education to many may just be a pipe dream, the young lady has resorted to collecting and selling firewood as the only means to keep her inside the walls of a classroom. Timothy Otieno with this story.
Scribbling notes in a hot classroom, 19-year-old Isnino Salat pays attention to her teacher. She is among the lucky girls to still be in class. Isnino is a Form 3 student at Detru Girls Secondary School, but she may not be here for long. Her struggle to raise school fees is muzzled by the rather calm look on her face. Once classes end, she goes home and begins another task, shifting from a student to a breadwinner. Isnino has to walk nearly 5 kilometers every day to gather firewood which she sells to raise her school fee.
Kama ni nguo, sabuni hivi ya kuoga, kama ni mafuta ya kichwa, nauza tu makuni, ndio najisaidia kununua hizo vitu.
On a good day, she walks home with 200 shillings, she says.
Yeye huwa anasomanga vizuri sana, msichana bright. Hata za zingine mimi nasema acha kufikiria mambo ya lack of fees. Soma tu, sisi tunaweza kusaidia.
In an area where early marriages are considered the norm, Isnino chooses to focus on her books instead.
Because we know that once you go out of the school, it is hostile, and all men of all age, around 8 years, are ready to pick her.
The area MP is planning on enrolling Isnino as a bursary beneficiary. She hopes to reach university, but until then has to make good with what she has. Timothy Otieno, KTN.
Very inspiring story there. Thank you very much, Timothy Otieno. How do you think you did? I can give you a pass.
Not bad.
Not bad. You can actually do it with some grooming here and there.
I can do it, and then I can mix it with singing.
You can mix it with singing, especially when, you're talking about a nice story, yeah? All right, so you can also let us know how Rosie fared. The hashtag, of course, is Friday Briefing. And any other question that you'd want to pose to her or her husband, Donald, they're still here with us, and they'll be joining me in a short while. But for now...
Yeah, as we'll go on a commercial break, and Betty will be back with business news.
The government will, by the end of this year, split Kenya Revenue Authority into 2 independent agencies, ushering in a new era for the tax collecting agency, which celebrates its 20-year anniversary this June. Now, according to the budget policy statement from the National Treasury, the Inland Revenue Agency Bill and the Customs and Border Protection Agency Bill are expected to be tabled before Parliament this year. This is expected to kickstart the process of splitting the powerful state organ. The split will see the formation of the Inland Revenue Agency, which will be charged with catering for medium and small taxpayers and large taxpayers. The Customs and Border Protection Agency will be in charge of customs services, while the move aims at improving operational efficiency of the taxman to aid in revenue collection. In the last financial year, KRA collected 963.7 billion shillings and has received a 1 trillion shillings target for the current financial year. Mwalimu Sacco is set to make a move into commercial banking after it received regulatory approvals to acquire Equatorial Commercial Bank. The Sacco last year sank in 1.6 billion shillings to gain a 51% stake in the bank and is now set to inject additional capital to acquire a further 24% stake. This would push Mwalimu's shareholding in the bank to 75%. The move will give the Sacco access to the bank's Equatorial Insurance brokerage business, giving it a foot in the insurance market. Mwalimu now has 3 seats in the board and will use its new position to offer financial services to its 58,000 members. Now, Kenyans living abroad will soon be able to take part in the country's economic agenda. This follows the launch of the Kenya Diaspora Policy by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In an exclusive interview with the president of the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, Dr. Shem Ochodo, he notes that the policy spells huge benefits for Kenyans working overseas. KTN's Abi Agina interviewed Dr. Ochodo, who is also an advisor to the Southern Sudan government on technology.
Yes, I think it's quite commendable. The remittance is one thing that's known. Central Bank puts it at $1.4 billion every year. The World Bank puts it double, about $2 billion a year. That means about 2 trillion Kenya shillings, almost the equivalent to our annual national budget. But this could be much more. But remittance is just one of the things. Investments are another. and as well as skills and knowledge transfer, which diaspora can bring on board. And we are hoping, as government works towards implementing this policy, which we hope will be through a PPP arrangement with a fourth P, public-private people's partnership, so that diaspora organizations like ours are involved as well, not to mention the corporate world. So we're looking forward. We think there's an awful lot of things that Kenyan diaspora can do in terms of investment. Even one of our biggest projects, the LAPSET, which is a $20 billion project, we believe that with the right policy now in place and with incentives to the diaspora could finance a significant part of that budget.
One of the biggest challenges for people working abroad is what can they invest in back home? Does this policy address that?
Yes, I think it's commendable, Abby, that government has signed this agreement with UAE. Employment, job opportunity is one of the major challenges to our young people. And as KTN, we're very happy about that. In fact, we have a proposal we've tabled to the previous leadership in the Ministry of Labor on identifying, we call it foreign labor or labor export, identifying opportunities abroad, working with government, the relevant ministries, together with the recruitment agencies back here, identifying the suitable candidates, preparing them. And when they go out there, they find the seniors, our members, who are already literally in every part of the world, including the Middle East, where this is going to happen. We're hoping that this is something that can be improved for their betterment. But in addition, in terms of investment, and this is where there's still some loopholes in the policy, there are hardly any incentives for investing back home. Example, what happens in Ethiopia? For example, if diaspora invest in real estate, government covers 70%. They could go into a bank and 70% of the collateral is covered by government. The idea is to incentivize them to come back and invest home. There are other similar examples. China, for example, if you go out as diaspora and run a successful small to medium enterprise, after 2 years, if it's a small one, you could get a grant of $50,000 automatic from the Chinese government. The idea here is to encourage people to go out, succeed, and then, of course, repatriate back the profits that you make. So these incentives is one area where we are hoping a little more will be done.
Meme, meme, meme.
Meme, meme, meme.
Is it English? English. Mimi.
Mem, 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 meme, meme.
Meno, meno, meno.
Hiyo jina ni meme kabisa.
Meme, meme.
Mema, mema, mema.
What I'm seeing in this paper is meme, meme, meme.
Meme, meme, meme.
Mem.
Meme, meme, meme.
Meme, meme.
So starting us off, Ushuru FC head coach Ken Kenyatta is looking to reshape his team, and that's ahead of the 2015 Kenyan Premier League season. After a disappointing end of their 2014 campaign, with the side finished 12th on the log, now with new recruits, the tax collectors wanted to impress during the 2015 Kenyan Premier League season.
Only one touch. Yes.
Ushuru FC head tactician Ken Kenyatta is geared to reshape his team ahead of the 2015 Kenyan Premier League season. After a bad ending to the 2014 KPL season that saw the tax collectors lose its last 10 matches, with working harder and smarter, the side is optimistic that they will better their last year's 12th placed finish.
Yeah, last year I think I did everything, but what I didn't have is the experienced players, of which I've told you I have now. I want to make sure, to ensure that the first match I've got to get 3 points.
Unlike the KPL competitors, KRA have not gone for big names while securing their new recruits. The side opted for experienced players in the likes of former AFC Leopards Eric Masika and Charles Okwemba. The side will also have ex-Western Steamer forward Paul Odhiambo and defender David Mwangi from Mathare United in their bank during the 2015 season.
Tuna wachezaji wazoefu. Najua watatusaidia sana.
There are new faces in terms of in the team, but they are not new faces in the Kenya Premier League. So the only thing is this, that I want this case to have that coordination and that bond.
Ushuru FC is aware that the league will not be simple, but with a game plan in mind, they want to impress. Ushuru FC impressed during their opening campaign of the 2014 season, and with the new recruits, the side is expected to sparkle during their 2015 season. And with that, every game will be of major importance to the tax collectors.
My main target is to win one game, the first game. That's my main target. Yeah, where I'll be, it's only God knows.
The 2015 KPL season is expected to kick off mid of February this year. The government is set to unveil an anti-doping board, which will be mandated with dealing with the increasing numbers of doping cases in the country. This was revealed by Sports Cabinet Secretary Hassan Wario as he presided over the launch of the Kenyan Academy of Sports at the Safaricom Stadium in Kasarani. The government will also meet with Chinada and Norway anti-boarding agencies next week to help Kenya in setting up a local-based agency. Dr. Wario also unveiled an Under-17 Academy of Sports volleyball team that will represent the country in Africa Junior Championship in Egypt and later World Championship in Cyprus.
You will see the launch of the Anti-Doping Council, which will be led by former PS Waweru as the chair, and we have Dr. Moni Wekesa and others as board members. Next week, we have a series of international workshops by World Anti-Doping Agency.
To matters rugby now. After being named the 2014 Men's Team of the Year during the 11th edition of the Sawyer Awards, KCB Rugby Club is warning their opponents that they will not relent in their quest for the 2015 glory. The side is now set on clinching the Kenya Cup title and outing their play to be a second fiddle team for a while now. Our very own Robinson Okenye now reports.
2014 was a season to behold for KCB Rugby Club as their performances won accolades from fans and opponents alike. The Ruaraka-based side successfully defended the Safaricom series, winning the Dala, Kabeberi and Prince Lu 7 series, a feat which aided them to be crowned the Men's Team of the Year in 2014 at the coveted Sawyer Awards.
We respect every team and we'll keep working hard. We will not relent because we were successful last year.
He had yards during the year, and I believe it came to pay when they were lifting the trophy at the podiums. Yeah.
Despite losing key players to the National Sevens team, the bankers are sounding a warning to their opponents and skeptics as they seek to achieve more success in 2015, with Kenya Cup title chase topping their agenda.
We can come there again on the finals. Hopefully we meet them, or whoever we meet, we will lift it.
The bankers will seek to gain momentum in their Kenya Cup quest, where they are placed second after bagging 8 wins this season. Having done an outstanding job in 2014, all eyes will be on KCB this year to see if they can replicate the same form they had last year. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
Thank you very much for all your comments and indeed for watching KTN Friday Briefing. And of course, we've gotten a lot of feedback about our guests, Rosie Ohon, together with her husband, Donald Ohon, and their beautiful children. Thank you very much for coming, Rosie. We don't have time, so we'll definitely have her coming back in another show. But thank you very much for watching. You can say good night.
Good night. Oh, and the ring.
Yeah, oh, and the ring. She brought me something.
For you something.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. A gift to wind up the show. Thank you very much.
We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.